Chapter 8 Adventure in the Woods. Mukul and Tony lived in the beautiful hillside town of Kantar. On the edge of the town was a thick forest where many animals lived. Every evening after school, Mukul and Tony would go to play with their friends in the field near the woods. They greatly enjoyed themselves, running in the green field, throwing stones into the brook, and shouting back to the chirping sparrows. One evening the two friends were so busy at play that they didn't notice it was getting dark. They had run too far from the town towards the woods. All other children had gone home. Mukul and Tony were lost in the woods. The boys knew there were wild animals in the woods. They held each other's hand and walked in terror. Tony said, "We can't hope to get home tonight. Let's climb a tree and spend the night there." Mukul agreed, and soon they were sitting on a thick branch of a tree. "Let's pray to God that the elves and fairies of the woods protect us," said Mukul. The boys soon dozed off. Late in the night they were awakened by loud noises of metals clashing and banging mixed with people's voices. "Mukul, we're saved! It must be Mom and Dad with the police. Let's get down." As they approached the source of the sound, they found it was not their parents, but men carrying lanterns, axes, saws, and a bag of other tools. They were arguing about which trees they should cut. Tony and Mukul were shocked to see this. They knew how dangerous it was to cut trees. They remembered what they had learned about deforestation and climate change from their books. "Mukul, we can't allow this. We must stop them," Tony said. "Wait, they look so dangerous. Let's see what they are up to," said Mukul. The boys hid behind a bush and observed the men. Now they had huddled together to discuss something. Mukul said in a hushed voice, "Hey, Tony, see, they've kept their tools beside that bush. Let's hide them away." "Yes, that's a wonderful idea," whispered Tony. After the discussion, the men came back to get their tools, but there was none. "Oh, where is my axe?" shouted one. "Who took the saw from here?" asked another. Ghosts," said a third one in a shivering voice. "Shut up, you fools, and search for the axes," shouted their leader. They found no trace of their tools and decided to come back the next day. Mukul and Tony found their way home the next morning. They told their parents about the events of the previous night. The people of Kantar were alarmed and outraged to hear about the wicked smugglers. It became clear to them why there had been a disastrous landslip in the valley the previous year. The men came back to the woods with new tools that night, but before they could begin their job, people of the town surrounded them. "You cannot cut these trees. They belong to all the people of the valley." "Who are you to say that? We earn our livelihood by selling wood," said one of the men. Mr. Narayan, a well-known journalist of Kantar, said, "Do you know what will happen if you cut down trees? These trees keep our air clean, bring rain, and keep our hillside beautiful. They also protect the wild animals by giving them a safe place to live. I'm sure you haven't forgotten last year's deadly landslip which killed many of your relatives in the valley. The landslip happened because there weren't enough trees on the hilltop to keep the soil together. It is easy to cut a tree, but have you ever thought how many years it takes for a tree to grow?" The men now realized their mistake. They hung their heads in shame. The next evening, when Mukul and Tony ran into the woods to play, they were taken aback by what they saw. The same men were there again, but this time they were planting little saplings to grow more trees.